Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Jefferson nickel coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American history, the 1964 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another small, everyday currency, but as we dig deeper into its background and unique features, you'll soon realize it's far more than meets the eye. Stick with us as we explore the rich history, stunning design, and the remarkable value of the 1964 US 5-cent coin. Let's begin with the story of how the 1964 nickel came to be. The United States has a long history of minting coins, and the 5-cent coin, or nickel, has been in circulation for over a century. By 1964, the nickel had already gone through various design changes, reflecting the country's evolving culture and political landscape. The year 1964 marked a time of great significance in American history, particularly in the realm of numismatics. In 1964, the U.S. economy was experiencing a period of prosperity, but tensions were also rising with the increasing social and political unrest surrounding the Civil Rights Movement and the Cold War. Amid these turbulent times, the U.S. Mint was focused on producing coins that reflected both the strength and unity of the country. The 1964 nickel, like many coins of the era, carried significant symbolism, as well as a connection to the values that Americans held dear. The design of the 1964 nickel is one of its most distinctive features. On the obverse, we find a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson has been featured on the nickel since 1938, making the 1964 version a continuation of this iconic design. The portrait, created by artist Felix Schlag, captures Jefferson in profile, exuding a sense of wisdom and determination. Jefferson was not only the author of the Declaration of Independence but also a key figure in shaping the early years of the United States, which makes his image on the nickel especially fitting. On the reverse side of the coin, we see a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's estate in Virginia. Monticello was designed by Jefferson himself and served as a symbol of his vision for the future of America. The intricate engraving of Monticello on the reverse of the 1964 nickel showcases the architectural beauty of this historic building, with the columns and the dome creating a striking visual effect. The use of Monticello on the reverse side of the coin ties Jefferson's legacy to the land and ideals that helped shape the nation. Now, let's talk about the minting process of the 1964 nickel. This coin was struck at several U.S. mint facilities, including the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The composition of the 1964 nickel consisted of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which gave it a durable and attractive finish. The nickel's size and weight remained consistent with other years, with the coin weighing 5 grams and measuring 21.2 millimeters in diameter. During the 1960s, the United States was transitioning through a variety of economic and political shifts. The early 1960s were a time of strong economic growth, but inflationary pressures and social changes were beginning to take their toll. Coins like the 1964 nickel circulated widely, but they also became part of the era's broader narrative, serving as a reminder of the country's resilience and its evolving sense of identity. The 1964 nickel is often remembered for its connection to these historical moments. Though millions of these coins were minted, they are now quite rare in pristine condition. Over time, most of them circulated heavily, which led to wear and tear, making well-preserved examples increasingly sought after by collectors. Coin enthusiasts often search for those rare, uncirculated pieces, which have become highly prized due to their condition. Collectors are particularly interested in the 1964 nickel for a number of reasons. For one, the coin marks a pivotal year in U.S. history, bridging the gap between the post-war era and the changing social landscape of the 1960s. Its design also appeals to those who appreciate the historical significance of the Jefferson portrait and Monticello, as well as the craftsmanship involved in the coin's creation. But beyond its design and historical context, the real allure for collectors lies in the coin's rarity and condition. While millions of 1964 nickels were produced, very few have survived in uncirculated condition. Coins that have been kept in excellent condition, with minimal signs of wear or damage, are especially valuable on the market. These coins are often found in the hands of dedicated collectors who understand their worth, but they can also turn up in unexpected places, such as in the pockets of everyday people or in a box of old coins passed down through generations. In addition to the standard 1964 nickel, some variants and special editions can be even more valuable. For example, proof coins, which were specially struck for collectors and not intended for circulation, often have a much higher value than regular circulation coins. These proof versions of the 1964 nickel were made with extra care and attention to detail, giving them a mirror-like finish that makes them highly coveted among coin enthusiasts. Collectors often seek out these proof coins, and their prices can vary significantly depending on the condition and rarity. Over the years, the value of the 1964 nickel has steadily increased, and it continues to be an important piece in the world of coin collecting. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1964 nickel can fetch impressive amounts, especially if it is part of a larger collection or if it has unique characteristics, such as a rare minting error or an unusual feature. These coins are prized not only for their historical significance but also for their aesthetic appeal and their connection to one of the most pivotal periods in American history. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the value of the 1964 US 5-cent coin today. If you happen to own a well-preserved, uncirculated 1964 nickel, or one with a special feature like a minting error, you could be looking at a staggering value of $65,000, that's right, $65,000 for a single 1964 nickel. Who would have thought that such a small coin could be worth so much? If you've stumbled upon one of these rare pieces in your collection or at a local coin shop, congratulations. You might just be holding a small fortune in your hands. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, keep an eye out for this incredible coin. With its deep historical roots, iconic design, and impressive value, the 1964 nickel is a true treasure of American numismatics. Top 2, we have an exciting and in-depth exploration of a very special coin, the 1985 United States 5-cent coin, or the nickel. While this coin might seem like an everyday piece of currency, there's so much more to it than meets the eye. Join us as we uncover the history, design, and minting details of the 1985 nickel, and stay tuned until the end for an incredible value reveal that might just surprise you. Let's take a trip back to 1985, a year that stands out in both American history and numismatics. The 1980s were a time of significant change for the United States, with cultural, political, and technological shifts happening at an accelerated pace. By 1985, the country was recovering from the economic challenges of the late 1970s and early 1980s. Ronald Reagan had been in office for a few years, and the economy was experiencing a period of growth, spurred by a series of tax cuts and deregulation efforts. In the world of coinage, the U.S. Mint was in the midst of producing standard denominations, including the 5-cent coin, which had remained largely unchanged for several decades. But this period in history also saw the continued evolution of the U.S. currency, with innovations in both security and design. The 1985 nickel stands as a product of its time, a coin that represents the values and traditions of the United States, yet also reflects the growing need for coins that would stand the test of time. The design of the 1985 nickel is a continuation of the long-standing tradition established in 1938 by artist Felix Schlag. On the obverse, you'll find a profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson has appeared on the nickel since that time, and his image has become an iconic symbol of the coin. The portrait captures Jefferson's dignified appearance, with his sharp features and thoughtful expression, conveying his deep intellect and leadership. Jefferson, known for his pivotal role in drafting the Declaration of Independence and his vision of an agrarian society, has been a fitting face for the U.S. 5-cent coin for decades. On the reverse side of the coin, we see a detailed depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia. The building is rendered with beautiful precision, showing off the neoclassical architecture that Jefferson himself designed. Monticello serves as a symbol of Jefferson's ideals and the nation's early democratic principles, and it's been a key feature of the nickel since its inception. The reverse design not only pays tribute to Jefferson's legacy but also serves as a reminder of America's early history and the foundational values upon which the country was built. While the design of the 1985 nickel might not have changed from previous years, the process of minting and producing the coin was still an important and complex operation. Like many of the coins produced in the 1980s, the 1985 nickel was struck in a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which gives the coin its characteristic metallic sheen and durability. The size of the coin remains consistent, weighing 5 grams and measuring 21.2 millimeters in diameter, which has been the standard for the nickel since the 1860s. The 1985 nickel was minted at multiple U.S. mint facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver, where the majority of these coins were produced for circulation. While millions of these coins were struck, the production of coins during this era was an ongoing process, with the U.S. Mint ensuring that there was always an adequate supply of currency in circulation. The 1985 nickel, like many others before it, served as an essential part of the everyday transactions in the United States, and its design and composition reflected both the stability of the nation's economy and the timeless values of its people. But what truly sets the 1985 nickel apart from other years of the same coin? The answer lies in its rarity and the growing appeal among collectors. While these coins were produced in large numbers, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is becoming increasingly difficult. Most of these coins were used extensively in everyday transactions, which means that they show signs of wear and tear, making high-quality examples a rare find. As time passes and more of these coins are lost or damaged, the remaining pieces in excellent condition grow in value and desirability. Collectors are particularly drawn to the 1985 nickel for a number of reasons. First, there's the historical context. The coin was minted during a period of economic stability and political conservatism, which makes it a reflection of its time. Additionally, the design is one of the most iconic in American numismatics, with Jefferson's image and Monticello being symbols of the nation's foundation. For many collectors, owning a pristine example of the 1985 nickel is like owning a piece of American history, but it's not just the historical context that makes this coin valuable. Condition is key when it comes to coins, and the 1985 nickel is no exception. Uncirculated coins, or coins that have never been used in circulation, are the most highly sought after. These coins are often carefully stored and preserved, either in protective packaging or in coin albums, ensuring that they retain their original luster and detail. Such coins can command significant prices on the open market, with collectors willing to pay a premium for those in near-perfect condition. In addition to uncirculated coins, certain variants of the 1985 nickel are also of great interest to collectors. These variants can include coins with unique minting errors or slight design variations, which make them even rarer and more valuable. Minting errors can occur during the production process and result in coins with unusual features, such as misaligned dies, doubled features, or incorrect weights. These error coins are highly prized in the numismatic community, and a rare error on a 1985 nickel could send its value soaring. But how valuable can the 1985 nickel actually be? As you can imagine, the value of a coin like this depends on its condition, rarity, and demand in the market. While most 1985 nickels are worth their face value of 5 cents, the coins in exceptional condition can be worth much more. An uncirculated 1985 nickel, especially one with a rare minting error or variant, could fetch an impressive sum at auction. For the ultimate 1985 nickel in top condition, you could be looking at a value of $49,000. That's right, a single coin, worth just 5 cents when it was first issued, can now be worth an astounding $49,000 if it is in pristine condition or possesses a rare feature. So, what does this mean for you? If you happen to have a collection of old coins or find yourself with a 1985 nickel tucked away in a drawer or box, it's worth taking a closer look. If the coin is in great condition and you're lucky enough to have one with a unique feature or minting error, you might just be holding onto a small treasure. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the 1985 US 5-cent coin. If you're a collector, or even just someone with a casual interest in coins, this coin is a perfect example of how even the most humble pieces of currency can carry immense historical significance and impressive value. Top 3, we have something truly special to explore: the 1972 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel. You may have encountered this coin in your pocket change, but there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. We'll dive into its historical context, unique design, minting details, and its incredible appeal to collectors. And stick around until the end, because we have an eye-opening value revelation you won't want to miss. Let's travel back to 1972, a year marked by significant events and cultural shifts across the globe. In the United States, the early 1970s were a time of both political tension and social change. The Vietnam War was still ongoing, and the country was grappling with the effects of the Watergate scandal, which would come to a head later in the decade. Despite the challenges, the U.S. economy was experiencing growth, though inflation was beginning to take hold, which would set the stage for the economic struggles of the later 1970s. During this time, the United States Mint was hard at work producing the nation's currency, including the nickel. The 1972 5-cent coin, while seemingly ordinary, stands as a reflection of its era, one that combines tradition with the economic and political climate of the time. By the early 1970s, the nickel had seen decades of changes in its design, but the most significant elements remained unchanged. The 1972 nickel is not only a symbol of everyday transactions but also a window into the world of American numismatics. The design of the 1972 nickel follows the classic pattern that was first introduced in 1938, and it remains one of the most enduring designs in American coinage. On the obverse, we find the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson's face has graced the nickel for over 30 years by the time the 1972 coin was minted, and his image remains one of the most recognizable features of the US 5-cent coin. The portrait was created by artist Felix Schlag, who captured Jefferson's likeness in profile. His expression is thoughtful, reflecting Jefferson's deep intellectual and philosophical contributions to the formation of the United States. Jefferson was not only a founding father and the author of the Declaration of Independence but also a visionary who served as the nation's third president. His portrait on the nickel symbolizes the ideals of democracy and freedom that he fought to establish. On the reverse side of the 1972 nickel, we see an engraving of Monticello, Jefferson's estate in Virginia. Monticello is another symbol of Jefferson's legacy, representing his vision for a self-sufficient and agrarian society. The architecture of Monticello, designed by Jefferson himself, is beautifully depicted on the coin with intricate details. The image of Monticello on the reverse side serves not only as a tribute to Jefferson's life but also as a reflection of the nation's early history and values. Now, let's take a closer look at the minting details of the 1972 nickel. The composition of the coin was made up of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which was standard for the US 5-cent coin. This combination of metals gives the coin its distinctive appearance and durability. The nickel weighs 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, consistent with previous versions of the 5-cent coin. In 1972, the U.S. Mint struck the nickel at several facilities, including the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Like many of the coins of this period, the 1972 nickel was produced in massive quantities to meet the demands of a growing economy. Millions of these coins were put into circulation, and they quickly became an everyday part of life for Americans. Although the 1972 nickel was produced in such large quantities, the value of these coins today can vary greatly depending on their condition. Most of the 1972 nickels you come across will show signs of wear from being used in daily transactions. However, as with any coin, the key to value lies in its condition. Well-preserved, uncirculated examples of the 1972 nickel are far rarer and much more desirable to collectors. It's not just the overall condition that makes the 1972 nickel attractive to collectors. The coin is also highly prized because of its historical significance. The image of Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse is instantly recognizable and carries deep historical weight. Collectors are drawn to coins that represent important moments in American history, and the 1972 nickel is no exception. It reflects the country's foundational values, all while maintaining its place in the modern era of the 1970s. The years have passed, the 1972 nickel has become an increasingly rare find in pristine condition. Most of the coins minted in 1972 were used in regular circulation and have been subjected to the wear and tear of everyday transactions. Coins that are well preserved, especially those that remain uncirculated, are highly sought after by collectors. These coins are often carefully stored, preserved, and catalogued by enthusiasts who understand the significance of maintaining their condition. But what makes a 1972 nickel truly valuable? Collectors and numismatists focus on factors like the coin's minting quality, rarity, and any unique characteristics it might have. While the vast majority of 1972 nickels were minted with standard design and composition, there are certain examples that have caught the attention of collectors due to errors in the minting process. These could be anything from misaligned dies to doubled strikes or other unusual features. These coins, known as error coins, are highly prized because they are unique and incredibly rare. Another key factor that influences the value of a 1972 nickel is its condition. Coins that are in near mint or mint condition, particularly those that have never been circulated, command a much higher price than those that have been worn down by time. A 1972 nickel that is in pristine condition with no visible wear or scratches is a true find in the world of coin collecting. The higher the quality of the coin, the more it is worth on the market. For those lucky enough to own a 1972 nickel in exceptional condition, or even one with a rare minting error, its value can be truly staggering. As with all collectibles, rarity plays a huge role in determining price. Coins that are in mint condition and have unique characteristics or minting errors are often sold at auctions, where their final price can be significantly higher than what you might expect for an ordinary coin. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. If you happen to have a well-preserved 1972 nickel, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a value of $59,000. That's right, $59,000 for a single 5-cent coin. It's amazing how a piece of history, no matter how small, can hold such tremendous value. So, if you've been holding onto old coins or have recently stumbled upon a 1972 nickel, take a closer look. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Whether you're a dedicated collector or just starting your journey into the world of numismatics, this coin is a prime example of how certain pieces of currency can increase in value over time. Top 4, we have an incredible coin to examine, the 1974 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel. At first glance, the 1974 nickel might seem like just another coin you've come across in your pocket change, but the story behind it is far more fascinating than you might imagine. This seemingly simple piece of currency holds layers of historical significance, intricate design, and, of course, immense value. Stay tuned, because we're about to reveal why this coin might be worth far more than its 5-cent face value. To understand the significance of the 1974 nickel, let's first take a look at the world during that time. The 1970s were a period of great change in the United States, marked by both political turbulence and economic challenges. The country was navigating the aftereffects of the Vietnam War and the social movements that defined the 1960s. Domestically, the Watergate scandal was on the horizon, which would later lead to President Richard Nixon's resignation. But even amid this turbulent backdrop, the United States Mint continued its important work of producing currency that symbolized the nation's history, values, and identity. The 1974 nickel was part of the ongoing series of U.S. 5-cent coins minted throughout the 20th century. By the time the 1974 nickel was struck, the design had remained relatively unchanged since 1938. That year, the U.S. Mint introduced a new design featuring a profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse side, and an image of his iconic home, Monticello, on the reverse. This design, created by artist Felix Schlag, would become one of the most enduring and recognized features of U.S. coinage. Jefferson's portrait, which has graced the nickel for decades, captures his dignified and thoughtful expression. Jefferson was a key figure in American history. He was the author of the Declaration of Independence, a visionary who helped shape the early ideals of the nation, and a president who expanded the country through the Louisiana Purchase. His face on the nickel not only represents his own legacy but also the values of freedom, democracy, and intellectual achievement that the nation was founded upon. On the reverse side of the coin, we find an image of Monticello, Jefferson's beloved estate in Virginia. Monticello was not just Jefferson's home, it was also a symbol of his beliefs in agrarianism, self-sufficiency, and architectural innovation. Jefferson designed the building himself, and the neoclassical style of Monticello has become an iconic representation of the nation's early architectural style. The image of Monticello on the 1974 nickel serves as a reminder of the foundations upon which the United States was built and the personal legacy of one of its founding fathers. But what makes the 1974 nickel so interesting beyond its design and historical context? Let's dive into the minting details of this coin. The 1974 nickel, like most nickels from the time, was made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which gives the coin its distinctive color and durability. The nickel weighs 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, which is consistent with the size of the US 5-cent coin since the 1860s. The 1974 nickel was minted in massive quantities, as the demand for coins in circulation remained high. The coin was produced at several U.S. mint facilities, including those in Philadelphia and Denver. Millions of these coins were struck to meet the needs of everyday transactions, but like many coins produced in large quantities, most of them have been worn down over time due to circulation. The challenge, then, for collectors is to find a 1974 nickel in excellent condition, something that has survived the wear and tear of everyday life without significant damage. While the 1974 nickel might not stand out among the other coins of its time, it has grown in appeal among collectors for a number of reasons. First and foremost is its connection to Thomas Jefferson and the iconic Monticello building, which continue to resonate with American values and history. Collectors have long appreciated the significance of these images, and the 1974 nickel remains one of the most collected coins in the United States. In addition to the historical appeal, the value of the 1974 nickel is closely tied to its condition. Most coins produced in 1974 have experienced significant wear, which is typical for coins that were used in everyday circulation. However, a coin that has remained in uncirculated or near mint condition is a rare find. These coins, which show no signs of heavy use or damage, are much more valuable to collectors because they are increasingly difficult to come by. Condition is everything in the world of numismatics, and the 1974 nickel is no exception. A coin that is well preserved, with sharp details and a smooth surface, is a true gem in the world of coin collecting. But condition alone doesn't always guarantee a coin's value. Certain 1974 nickels have become highly sought after because of rare minting errors or variations in the production process. These error coins, whether they feature double strikes, misaligned dies, or other unusual features, are of particular interest to collectors who specialize in rare and unique items. One of the reasons that error coins, such as those found among the 1974 nickels, can be so valuable is because they are one of a kind. A minting error results from a mistake during the production process, and no two error coins are exactly alike. This rarity makes error coins extremely desirable in the market, as collectors are always on the lookout for these unique pieces to add to their collections. But what does all of this mean in terms of value? While most 1974 nickels are still worth their face value of 5 cents, the coin's value can skyrocket if it's in excellent condition or if it possesses a rare minting error. In fact, a well-preserved 1974 nickel, or one with a unique minting error, could fetch an impressive sum at auction or from private collectors. Some of the most highly prized examples of the 1974 nickel can be worth well beyond their face value. Are you ready for the big reveal? A 1974 nickel in uncirculated or near mint condition, or one with a rare minting error, can be worth an astonishing $56,000. Yes, you read that right, $56,000 for a single 5-cent coin that was produced over 50 years ago. It's truly incredible how much a piece of history like this can be worth when it's in pristine condition or has a unique feature that sets it apart from the rest. So, if you happen to have a stash of coins from the 1970s or come across a 1974 nickel in your collection, it's worth taking a closer look. If it's in great shape or features an error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Whether you're an avid coin collector or just starting to explore the world of numismatics, the 1974 US 5-cent coin is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become a treasure over time. Top 5 and last rare nickel, we're diving into a fascinating coin from the United States, a coin that might seem like just another 5-cent piece, but as we'll uncover, it has a rich history and a surprising value. That's right, we're talking about the 1990 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel. While it may have been a regular part of your pocket change, this nickel has a story to tell, and it's more valuable than you might think. Stick with us as we take a closer look at this iconic piece of US currency, explore its design, and end with the big reveal of just how much it could be worth today. To begin, let's set the stage for 1990, the year the coin was minted. The 1990s were a period of economic growth and technological advancement in the United States. The country was coming out of the recession of the late 1980s, and President George H.W. Bush had just begun his first term in office. The economic landscape was shifting as the U.S. saw a rise in technological innovation, with the personal computer and internet beginning to change the way people lived and worked. At the same time, the Cold War was coming to an end, and the global political climate was shifting dramatically. In terms of currency, 1990 was not a year of major change. The design of the 5-cent coin had remained largely unchanged for decades. This nickel, like its predecessors, featured the familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and an image of Monticello on the reverse. However, despite the design's long history, the 1990 nickel holds an important place in the broader context of U.S. coinage, and it's become increasingly interesting to collectors over the years. So, what makes this particular nickel stand out? The design of the 1990 nickel follows the classic pattern that was first introduced in 1938. On the obverse, we see a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers and the third president of the United States. Jefferson's likeness was created by artist Felix Schlag, and his image on the coin has become one of the most enduring symbols in U.S. numismatics. Jefferson was not only the author of the Declaration of Independence but also an intellectual giant, a diplomat, and a visionary. His portrait on the nickel serves as a reminder of the core values upon which the United States was founded. On the reverse side of the 1990 nickel, we find an image of Monticello, Jefferson's famous estate in Virginia. Monticello is not just an iconic building, it represents Jefferson's vision for America, his ideas about agrarianism, and his love for architecture. Jefferson designed Monticello himself, and the building's neoclassical style has become a symbol of American democracy and ingenuity. The depiction of Monticello on the 1990 nickel ties the coin to Jefferson's legacy, reminding us of his important role in the nation's history. While the design of the 1990 nickel is familiar and rooted in tradition, it's the details of its minting and condition that truly determine its value today. The coin was produced by the U.S. Mint using the same composition that had been used for years, 75% copper and 25% nickel. This combination of metals gives the coin its characteristic color and durability. The 1990 nickel has a diameter of 21.2 mm and weighs 5 grams, which has been consistent for US 5-cent coins since the late 1800s. The 1990 nickel was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and millions of these coins were produced to meet the demands of a growing economy. It's no surprise that the 1990 nickel circulated widely in the years following its release, as it was commonly used in daily transactions. However, the heavy circulation meant that most of these coins have suffered from wear and tear. So, if you happen to find a 1990 nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be in for a real treat. Coins that are well preserved and show no signs of wear are much rarer and, as a result, much more valuable to collectors. Collectors are particularly interested in the condition of the coin because that can significantly affect its value. A 1990 nickel that has been kept in excellent condition, with sharp details and minimal surface wear, is highly desirable. In fact, some uncirculated 1990 nickels have sold for a premium in the marketplace, making them valuable finds for collectors. But it's not just condition that matters. There are other factors at play, such as the rarity of the coin and any unique features it might have. In the world of coin collecting, even small variations in design or minting can have a huge impact on a coin's value. For example, some 1990 nickels feature minor errors or misprints that occurred during the minting process. These error coins are highly sought after because they are one of a kind, and collectors love the uniqueness that they offer. Errors like double strikes, die cracks, or misaligned dies can add significant value to a coin, making it even more appealing to those looking for something special to add to their collections. The 1990 nickel is also attractive to collectors because of its connection to American history. As with other coins featuring iconic figures like Jefferson, the 1990 nickel carries with it a sense of national pride and historical significance. Over time, coins like these become more than just currency. They become pieces of history that represent the values, ideals, and moments that shaped the nation. So, how much is the 1990 nickel worth today? While a typical 1990 nickel in circulated condition is still worth just 5 cents, coins in exceptional condition can fetch a significant amount. The key to a higher value is finding one that has been preserved in near mint or uncirculated condition, or one with a unique feature such as a minting error. These coins can sell for hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars, depending on their rarity and condition. The real kicker, however, is when we talk about a 1990 nickel that is in impeccable condition or has one of those rare minting errors. If you happen to have one of these special coins, you could be looking at a value of $46,000. That's right, $46,000 for a single 5-cent coin. It's amazing how something as small and seemingly ordinary as a nickel could hold such incredible value. Whether it's due to its condition, rarity, or an error, the 1990 nickel has proven to be a highly sought-after coin among collectors. So, what does this mean for you? If you've got any old coins lying around, particularly nickels from the 1990s, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting to explore the world of numismatics, the 1990 nickel could be the next gem to add to your collection. Keep an eye out for well-preserved specimens, and who knows, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the 1990 US 5-cent coin. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more rare and valuable coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll continue to explore the fascinating world of numismatics and uncover more hidden treasures, so stay tuned, and happy collecting.